Hey everyone, it's TML with another video today, and today we are doing the long-awaited speedroid deck profile. I love this deck so much, I am very excited to show this to you. I temporarily put free copies of Infinite Impermanence in here just to replace the Phoenix Chain for this video. After this video, I'm taking it out to put the Phoenix Chain back in because I'm going to put the Infinite Impermanence in the Marincess deck I'm going to get. And it'll be a while for me to make that profile, so cause I'll have to build it. And a very special card is in here. I finally pulled Baron de Fleur. Last week I pulled it. It was on the last pack. Without further ado, let's get on with this deck profile. Starting off with 3 copies of Ultra Hound. This is insane. This is one of the best normal summons in this entire deck. What this does is, if it's normal summoned, you send 1 Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard, which will always be your Speedroid duplicate. But if you have both copies in your hand, I would probably suggest throwing Den Daiko Duke in the graveyard. And during your main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard and target 1 Speedroid monster in your graveyard. You shuffle it in the deck, and if you do, you special summon 1 Speedroid Synchro monster from your extra deck, but with the same level but with a different name, and also negates effects, you will always want to special summon your Court Shooter. I love this card. I mostly see it in my opening hands. Then 3 copies of Marble Machine. This is basically Terror Top, but a very downgraded version because the Pendulum monster, and when it's normal summoned, you can add 1 Speedrun monster from your deck to your hand, and you can't special summon monster from your turn step wind monster, but that is absolutely fine because all we have is wind monsters. Then 3 copies of Toxic Tomborg, also one of the best cards. The only downside is you can only special summon it once per turn, but if you control a wind monster, you special summon it, then you contribute it, special summon 1 Speedroid tuner from your deck, which will always be your red-eye dice. And then 3 copies of Card Turbo, basically Toxic Tomborg, but it's a tuner. You special summon it if you have a wind monster, and then you can banish this card and 1 Speedrun monster from your graveyard. All wind monsters control and have no attack until the end of the turn. Very awesome. Then 2 copies of Den Daiko Duke, one of the best tuners. You can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon 1 Speedroid Tune monster from your hand or graveyard. Except Den Daiko Duke, you can only use this effect of Den Daiko Duke once per turn, and that is such a fun name to say. Den Daiko Duke, Den Daiko Duke, Den Daiko Duke. And for the best tuner, Red-Eye Dice, this card is broken as hell. When it's normal special summon, you can target 1 Speedrun monster you control, except for this card. Declare level to 1-6, it becomes that level until the end of the turn. And this can happen every time it's normal special summon. It's insane. Then 1 Fuki Midoshi Piper is basically part of duality, but you can still special summon, but blah blah blah. Then 1 Terror Top, I want this at 2 or 3, because this is honestly one of the best ones, but when it's normal special summon, you can add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. 1 Double Yo-Yo. 1 Horse Stilt. If Terror Top comes to 2, I'm taking this out for it, but it probably never will happen. And 1 Rubber Band Plane. And for the last of the monsters, I run 3 Wind-to-Wind Chandler and 3 Ash Blossom. Sorry, on my speed recovery there. When the wind chandler searches for your monsters, Ash is best hand trap. And that's it for the monsters. I run 27 monsters, and that's a lot of monsters for this deck. But that's what I like about it. And now for the spells, I only run 8 spells. This is a 40 card deck. Free speed recovery, broken Ash card, not once per turn. 2 speedroid wheel. Discard 1 card, roll 6 side dice, back some from your hand or deck. Let 1 or 2 speedrun monsters who total level equal that result but negate their effect. And if you do not special summon, you leave life points equal to the result times 500. You can only activate this card once per turn. 1 monster reborn, 1 feather duster, and 1 called by the grave. And that is it for the spells. For the traps, triple imperm, like I said, when I get my Marincess deck tomorrow, I am going to take this out to replace, bring back the Phoenix Chain. I want to keep this, but I only have 6 copies of this card, and the other 3 is in my Altergeist deck. I took this out of my Trap Trick deck just to save money. Rent money ain't cheap, so we all have to make sacrifices. So I had to take this out of my beloved Trap Trick, along with the free Ash Blossom for Marincess. Type respect in order of my Trap Trick deck, please. And for the last 2 cards of the main deck, Speedroid Duplicate. Love this card. You will always want to send this to the graveyard with Ultra Hound. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 level 2 or higher speedrun monster you control, reduce its level by 1. If you do, you special summon this card as a normal machine type monster, which is a tuner, level 1 with 0 attack and defense, and it's not treated as a trap card, but you can only activate this effect once per duel. And that's it for the main deck. Time for the extra deck. Some people may judge this extra deck, but I love it. I run the 1 high speedroid clearing rider. I really want to put this in this deck. I like it, and I love this card. It's pretty cool, but it's not my favorite one in this extra deck. And this may surprise you, but I got a Ghost Rare Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon. And if I'm being completely honest with you, this card right here is the whole reason I bought Speedroid. I pulled this on the first pack of Synchro Storm. I was shocked. I paid $20 for a deck core, but it came with most of Freya's, except for the Fuki Midoshi Piper, but it didn't came with this exact build, so I had, but under that, that was the best Speedroid deck, the best deck I've ever bought, such as a easy price, $20. Look at that, look how beautiful that is. The 1 Baron de Fleur. This was the most expensive card I pulled. I have spent almost $100 in packs trying to find this. And I finally got lucky last week. I bought 3 packs at my local Time Warp, and this was on the last pack. So beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with this card. If it's legal to marry a Yu-Gi-Oh card, then me and Baron are getting hitched. 2 Crystal Wing, super mandatory in this deck. if you run speedroid, you must run Crystal Wing. It should be a law. The one Kite Drake, the one Crystal, no, God bless, Clearwing Fast Dragon, the one Wind Pegasus. This, you never summon this. You will only banish this with Rubber Band Shooter, and this is the one I always banish. It's super helpful, and it's a wind, so very helpful. One Charge Warrior, that's the only level 6 I run. I did run Kendama, but when I pulled Baron, I took it out. One Hagoita, you go into anime, said it like that. Very, 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 very helpful and useful. You summon this all the time. The one Chumbara, I never summoned this, but I may summon it one day. But also another mandatory. You need to run 2. Do not run 1. Don't you dare run 1 Court Shooter. Run 2. Super mandatory. And the last, one Rubber Band Shooter. This along with your Ultra Hound will give you so many good combos. The first effect, you'll want to activate the second effect first, which will banish a Wind Synchro monster, which you'll want to be Wind Pegasus. You'll add 2 speedroid monsters, which will be level 7, equal to level 7. In the first effect, you can normal summon a speedroid monster. And that's it for the deck. I love this deck. It is so fun, so powerful. It's so underrated. I just love this deck so much. And